Think you know everything about Lost in Space? The truth is, there are scenes that were permanently erased, never to be seen by audiences. Premiering in 1965, Lost in Space was not just a science fiction TV series, but also a symbol of an ambitious era. At the time, the world was at the height of the space race between the United States and the Soviet Union, with all eyes on distant planets. As humanity's dream of conquering space began to turn into reality. Inspired by the classic novel The Swiss Family Robinson and humanity's endless curiosity about the vast universe. Lost in Space tells the story of the Robinson family, a group of pioneers thrown into an interstellar survival adventure after their ship Jupiter 2 veers off course during a journey to a new planet. Behind the thrilling on-screen adventures lie surprising behind-the-scenes stories, deleted scenes that audiences were never meant to see, and secrets that Lost in Space has kept hidden for decades. What happened behind the lights and cameras? What mysteries were buried during the making of this iconic show? Let's uncover the unexpected truths and hidden corners of Lost in Space, where humanity's dream of conquering the stars was born. Strange secrets of the cast behind the scenes. Lost in Space. 1965 is not just a legendary sci-fi show, but also a treasure trove of strange and humorous behind-the-scenes stories. One such tale is the secret romance between child stars Billy Mumy and Angela Cartwright. On screen, they played siblings in the Robinson family, but in real life, 12-year-old Billy fell for 13-year-old Angela at the start of filming. Surprisingly, Billy patiently waited until he was old enough to drive before officially asking Angela out on a date. Their relationship was so serious that they were even engaged as teenagers, shocking Hollywood. Like many young romances, they eventually broke up, but remarkably, they remained close friends for decades. In a showbiz world filled with drama, Billy and Angela's story warmed the hearts of fans. While their romance was sweet, the episode The Great Vegetable Rebellion sparked outrage instead. In this episode, the Robinson family is turned into plants by a talking giant carrot. Yes, a carrot. Even the cast couldn't keep a straight face while reading the script. Jonathan Harris. Dr. Smith had to reshoot multiple times because he couldn't stop laughing. Yet the laughter on set didn't save the episode. Audiences reacted so strongly against it that the show was cancelled just one episode later. Who could have imagined that a carrot would uproot a TV legend? It wasn't just the carrot. Robot Bean-Eye, the iconic character of the show, also caused several backstage mishaps. Bob May, who played the robot, wore a 200-pound, 90-kg suit made of sharp metal parts. The heavy and constricting costume caused frequent injuries. The most infamous incident happened when Bob smoked a cigarette inside the suit, causing smoke to escape. The crew, thinking the robot was on fire, rushed to extinguish him. Despite the dangers, these mishaps turned Robot B9 into a legendary character both on and off screen. Lastly, there's the ongoing joke about Dr. Smith's sleeping arrangements. The Jupiter 2 spaceship had 6 cryo-sleep chambers, just enough for the Robinson family. So where did stowaway Dr. Smith sleep? Fans have debated this for decades, with hilarious theories like him sleeping standing up, sneaking into someone else's pod, or curling up in the food storage area. This small script oversight has become a running gag among fans, proving the lasting charm of Lost in Space. Unrevealed controversies. One of the biggest secrets of Lost in Space is the unaired pilot episode titled No Place to Hide. This version had a completely different tone from the main series. It lacked both Dr. Smith and Robot B9, two of the most beloved characters, and there wasn't a shred of humour. Instead, the episode focused on a dark and serious atmosphere, with the Robinson family struggling to survive amidst the dangers of space. Despite its $600,000 budget, a massive amount at the time, the pilot was never aired. Instead, The producers reused many of its scenes, added Dr. Smith and the robot, and adopted a more humorous, adventurous tone to appeal to a wider audience. This bold decision turned No Place to Hide into a legendary secret known only to die-hard fans. The crew was also incredibly resourceful when it came to reusing props. With a limited budget, they painted and repurposed old props to create futuristic gadgets for various alien planets. For example, the long-range scanner appeared in 3 different episodes but was repainted and redesigned each time. These clever tricks not only saved money, but also maintained the show's grand visual appeal, keeping viewers from noticing the recycled props. However, this creativity sometimes sparked controversy. In one episode, the team borrowed Spock's iconic pointed ears from Star Trek, made slight modifications, and used them for an alien species in Lost in Space. When viewers caught on, Star Trek fans accused the show of stealing, while Lost in Space fans celebrated it as a clever prank. In reality, this was simply a behind-the-scenes agreement between makeup artists, but the rivalry between the 2 sci-fi titans turned this small act into a legendary tale. Another curious detail involves the inconsistent launch date of the Jupiter 2. In the Unaired pilot, the launch was dated October 16, 1997, but in the episode The Derelict, the date was changed to October 21, 1990. Both episodes claim that the events take place within the first 24 hours of the launch, leaving fans scratching their heads. Was this a script error or a deliberate mystery? The debate has fueled fan theories for decades. The 1976 reunion attempt on Family Feud also remains a mystery. The show planned a special episode reuniting the Lost in Space cast. However, Billy Mumy, Will Robinson, and Jonathan Harris, Dr. Smith, unexpectedly declined to participate without offering any explanations. Their absence left fans wondering if there were unresolved tensions among the cast, or if it was just a coincidence. To this day, this cancelled reunion remains one of the show's biggest unsolved mysteries. Deleted scenes. Lost in Space. 1965 not only became famous for its intriguing behind-the-scenes stories, but also left fans regretful due to the deleted scenes moments that could have made the series more complete.
Major, you irk me.
Let's see what you make of this protein pill, robot.
Hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live. There are 387.44 million miles of printed circuits in wafer-thin layers that fill my complex.
One of the most controversial deleted scenes in the history of Lost in Space occurred when the Robinson family, along with Dr. Smith and the robot, explored a mysterious spaceship equipped with cutting-edge alien technology. In this scene, while everyone was examining the ship's navigation and propulsion systems, Dr. Smith began making sarcastic remarks, mocking the idea that not everything in the universe needed to have practical applications on Earth. At that moment, the robot, typically known for its neutral tone and analytical support role, unexpectedly delivered an emotional speech. The robot declared that its system contained 44 million miles of printed circuits stacked into layers as thin as razor blades. And if the word hatred were engraved on every nanoangstrom of those layers, it still would not compare to 1/1000th of the hatred it felt toward humanity at that moment. Although the dialogue was profound and philosophical, it was deemed too dark and negative, especially since the show's primary audience was children and families. The robot's intense emotions in this dialogue were considered far removed from the overall tone of Lost in Space, which was crafted as a light-hearted adventure series with positive messages about unity and courage. As a result, this scene was cut from the official broadcast due to its incompatibility with the show's spirit. Nevertheless, the distinctiveness and unique nuance of this scene made it one of the most intriguing and controversial deleted moments among fans. Many viewers believe that keeping this scene could have added depth to the robot's character turning it into more than a lifeless supporting machine. The story of the protein pill and hatred became an iconic part, reminding viewers of the secrets and hidden layers lost in space once concealed.
Naturally, don't apologize. You've got your job and I've got mine, eh, soldier?
Another fascinating deleted scene occurred at the very beginning of this series. As we all know in the first episode, Dr. Smith, the main antagonist, not only sabotaged the Jupiter 2 by programming the robot to destroy the spaceship 8 hours after launch, but also displayed his evil nature. When discovered on the ship just before launch, he used judo to take down a poor guard and even threw him into a waste disposal chute. This scene highlighted the cunning and ruthless nature of Dr. Smith in the early episodes, before his character gradually became more humorous and less threatening in later seasons. However, it is noteworthy that in the original script for this episode, Dr. Smith's cruelty was portrayed even more vividly. Initially, he was described as hiding a poisoned needle in his ring, intending to use it to kill the guard and cover up his sabotage. But this idea was rejected by the network, which deemed it too dark, brutal, and inappropriate for a children's audience, the show's primary demographic. Instead, they altered this detail to depict Smith using judo, which was less controversial, but still retained the tension and drama of the story. The unaired pilot episode of Lost in Space, titled No Place to Hide, presented a very different story compared to the official version known to audiences. In this version, not only was Dr. Smith, the series' iconic antagonist, absent, but the famous robot was also missing. Instead, the Robinson family became lost in space when their ship, the Gemini 12, later renamed the Jupiter 2, veered off course after failing to avoid a meteor shower. The story revolved around the Robinson family's survival journey as they spent 3 years in stasis before their ship landed on a strange, unexplored planet. There, they faced a series of thrilling adventures, battling giant Cyclops creatures, exploring ancient alien ruins, and narrowly escaping destruction when their amphibious vehicle was sucked into a giant whirlpool. However, despite the intriguing sci-fi and action elements, the network felt that a story solely about the Robinson family fleeing random threats was not enough to hold the audience's attention. They believed the show needed a continuous antagonist to create ongoing conflict. And that's when Dr. Smith and the robot were added. In the official version, the meteor shower damaging the Jupiter 2 was retained, but the cause was changed. This time, Dr. Smith, while sabotaging the ship, accidentally got trapped inside. To ensure the robot had enough power for the destruction plan, he performed some last-minute repairs which caused the ship to veer off course. His body weight, approximately 250 pounds, further destabilized the ship, sending it hurtling into an asteroid field. Both versions highlighted a common issue: the mission was nearly doomed from the start. The Jupiter 2's navigation system clearly lacked the capability to compensate for minor changes such as additional weight or adjustments to avoid collisions. This raised the question of whether the mission to colonize a new planet was ever truly feasible, even without Dr. Smith's sabotage. Although the unaired pilot No Place to Hide was never broadcast, it remains a crucial part of Lost in Space history, shaping the series and leading to important changes that contributed to the success of the official version. The secrets behind the origins of Lost in Space. One of the most notable aspects of Lost in Space is its origin. Behind the space adventure lies a creative fusion of two classics: the novel The Swiss Family, Robinson 1812, and the comic book Space Family. Robinson 1962. The show not only captured the survival spirit of the Robinson family, but also elevated the story by blending it with elements of space exploration and futuristic technology. This combination showcased the creative vision of the production team and built a bridge between generations, appealing to fans of classic literature and modern science fiction alike. Beyond its storyline, Lost in Space made a lasting impression with its bold production details, particularly the iconic Jupiter 2 spaceship. Costing $350,000 in 1965, equivalent to around $2.6 million today. Building the Jupiter 2 model consumed a huge portion of the budget, surpassing even the cost of constructing the USS Enterprise from Star Trek. The ship's interior, its command center, sleeping quarters, and engine systems was meticulously designed to feel like a functioning spacecraft capable of interstellar travel. This not only amazed viewers, but also cemented Jupiter 2 as one of the most iconic spacecraft in television sci-fi history. However, not every production element was entirely original. A humorous behind-the-scenes story involves Lost in Space borrowing props from its rival Star Trek. In one episode, the team used Spock's signature pointed ear molds, slightly modified them, and featured them as part of an alien species in Lost in Space. When fans noticed, Star Trek devotees accused the show of stealing, while Lost in Space, fans proudly considered it a cheeky victory. In reality, it was simply a small agreement between makeup artists, but the tale highlights how the rivalry between the two sci-fi giants extended beyond the screen and into production. Another unforgettable prop was the chariot, the Robinson family's exploration vehicle. With its stunning design and ability to navigate all terrains, the chariot didn't just provide thrilling adventure sequences, but also became a symbol of the Robinsons' pioneering spirit. Though it was merely a prop, the chariot left a deep impression on viewers and became an essential part of Lost in Space's legacy. Finally, the special episode Visit to a Hostile Planet deserves a mention. In this storyline, the Robinson family accidentally travels back in time to Earth in 1947. This was one of the rare episodes to explore time travel, offering a fresh and intriguing direction for the plot. However, instead of delving deeply into the mechanics of their time travel mishap, the episode ends with unanswered questions, leaving audiences curious. Was this meant to be a standalone episode, or was it a hint at something more significant? While the answers remained unclear, the episode demonstrated Lost in Space's ability to immerse viewers in its universe while keeping them guessing. Over half a century later, the legacy of Lost in Space continues to inspire new generations, those who dream of reaching distant horizons. The untold secrets and hidden production stories only add to the show's allure, making it even more fascinating. Lost in Space is not just the tale of the Robinson family's journey, it is the story of an entire generation dreaming about the stars. Are you ready to explore more? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay tuned for more exciting stories.